Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to today's episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up?
What up? A good day on this Tuesday. It's hot. It's hot as I don't know what to say, but it's super hot here in Vegas right now. I want to say it's like 112 outside, so
Yeah,
it's
my
nice
little
and cool.
temperature on the computer right now says 111.
Yeah, it's super hot right now, but hey, Vegas living for you.
Yep, that's why I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of the heat. Like, it's hot here like 8 months, 9 months, 10 months out of the freaking year. Like, it's crazy.
It's so funny here though. Like it could be super hot, and and me, I've only been living here for 7 years. You've been here your whole life. And it's funny for me, it's like, you would get these times where it's like, 110 to 115, 116 sometimes. And then, but like when it gets cold. And sometimes we'll get snow here, which is
Yeah,
funny. So it's crazy.
very rarely.
Yeah.
Let me say what's up to everybody that's here. NorCal Bill checking in last night. He was definitely the first one in the chat.
Nice.
Melissa, 49ers throwback, Sin, Tia, appreciate you guys. So yeah, before we jump into breaking down the O line, and we're also going to do the quarterback room as well today. Before we jump into that, we'll touch on some other stuff that's going on in the news. We figured that we'd start with everybody's favorite person in the last couple days, Mr. Robert Turbo Turbin. What was he, a running back for the
He
Seahawks?
was a running back. Yeah.
Yeah. He had put out like his wherever he works for, whatever. He did a video this week saying, what was it? The best place or the place that needs Jimmy
Jimmy the
Garoppolo the
most.
most.
Yeah. Are the Niners, he said.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then he says it's the 49ers. So it was nice to see the 49ers fans come together. I know you wanted to touch on that a little bit, so I'll let you touch on that. But it was nice to see everybody come together and roast the guy. And then he put out another tweet today about it. So I'll let you touch on that first, and then we'll
Yeah.
touch on the second tweet he put out today.
Yeah, I just think it's funny, man. I don't know. I'm starting to just sit back and listen to everybody. I don't know if it's just to keep a conversation going because it's slow. So it's like, oh, let's give the 49ers fans something to complain about, whatever the case may be. But, it's absolutely hilarious that, he came out on whatever show, like you said, he worked for, and he was just like, yeah, the best team, the place that needs the 49ers the most, or the place that Jimmy's no, are the 49ers, because, he this is the funny word that everybody always says he takes. He took them to a Super Bowl. He didn't. Like, we're not gonna sit here and keep being a dead horse about that. But he didn't take us anywhere. He contributed. I won't take that from him. He contributed. He's part of the 22 starters. So I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect and say he didn't help. He helped, but to say he took us is laughable. So, and I sat there and I listened to it the first, when it came out, and I was just sitting here shaking my head. Then today, or he put out a tweet saying, oh, you 49er fans are funny. Like, this year, Jimmy is the best player, the best quarterback to get you a win. And he's moving forward, it'll be Trey. But this year, he put it in all caps too. This year, Jimmy gives you the best chance to win. So then I just saw a bunch of 49er fans just getting on his helmet like he was being cooked today. And there was some people who were like, he didn't even respond. He wasn't even responding because he was being cooked. But this is the kind of stuff I love to see. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like me and Mariah were talking, before we started, and I feel like this past year, I say this past year, I've never seen the 49er faithful be so ugly towards each other. Like, people just arguing, people catch, people in spaces saying they want to, meet up in person to throw hands. I'll meet you at the airport. I'll meet you here, this, whatever the case may be. I've never seen the 49er fans be so divided over a quarterback. Like, it's just been ugly. Like, it wasn't even this bad when it was Joe and Steve, or even Kaepernick and Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been so ugly, and I think people are just mesmerized, and have this delusion of, oh well, Jimmy, he came in, he turned our franchise around, he gives us, his winning percentage, blah blah blah. But it's like, yeah, his winning percentage is good when you're looking at your competition being all backups. I like to see his winning percentage on this team against a Derek Carr or a Kirk Cousins, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So it's just laughable that people sit there and they want to do that. But I love the fact that today, everybody was getting after Robert Turbin. Like everybody was united. All the 49er fans were in cahoots with each other and being like, "Hey, let's go ahead and take care of this," and they were dragging this dude, and I love to see it because this is how it should be. Us as Niner fans, we need to
Yes.
stick. Yeah, we need to stick together. We need to stop coming at each other so much and name calling and all this other stuff, and just be good to each other. So yeah, I love to see it. I love to see, and it did the same thing with Emmanuel Ocho as well. He came out, he said something. The 49er fans just cooked him. They're cooking Robert Turman, and I love to see it. So yeah, I hope this is this is how it should be when it comes to us together, and it shouldn't take somebody from outside, having to say something negative about our team for us to be so united as a fan base. So
Exactly. There's plenty of other people out there from other fan bases that we could be fighting with. We don't have to be fighting with each other.
yeah,
um, JV says he's at a Cleveland baseball game, so he has to be careful not to take a ball to the dome. We appreciate you listening, trying to, snipe all the cards while you're there at a baseball game. But we know how Cleveland sports are. They're not very good, so that's why you have to find something else to do while you're there. Makes sense. But we appreciate you being here, JV. I'm not saying this name again, but we appreciate you being here too. Not butchering it again. You're not that late. We just started. It's all right.
yeah.
That's why we just bullshit for about 15 minutes because we know how y'all are.
Right.
So yeah, his exact tweet that he had put out today was Niner fans need to chill. LOL. Y'all are really upset because I said he needed to stay. Y'all have a good team. Was just in the NFC Championship game twice in the last 3 seasons. You're 31-14 when Jimmy G starts and 8-28 without him. Jeez, LOL. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Let's also put out there that he came out with that after the rumors were coming out that the Seahawks were interested in doing work and whatever on Jimmy G. Yeah. That's when this guy puts out that video, So, I mean, it would make sense. He doesn't want Jimmy to go to the Seahawks. That was his team. But at the same time, it's like you being a Seahawks guy, you out of all people should know that Jimmy has weaknesses and that those other quarterbacks were backup quarterbacks, like for a reason. That's the thing that pissed me off the most. Like we're constantly thinking that Shanahan should have won with backup quarterbacks and comparing that to Jimmy G. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Like Izzy said, like stop bringing up that stat. Well, this is his winning record when Kyle Shanahan doesn't have them. Well, yeah, he's going up. His competition was Brian Hoyer and C.J. Beathard, like people who are fighting for jobs right now. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
So yeah, that did come out. That well, first of all, we talked about on when was it? When were we on here? Saturday. On Saturday, Saturday's episode about that's when the rumors started coming out about Jimmy G possibly going to Tampa Bay and that Joe Schmo released all that stuff. Well, a couple days later it comes out from Jimmy's agent and he shuts down those rumors, says that's not true, he never talked to the guy. Remember, the guy had said he spoke to the agent, and the agent said no, that wasn't true, he never spoke to him. And he said that Jimmy's on like course, whatever.
Yeah.
So after that, rumors start coming out that the Seahawks are doing their work. They're watching tape on Jimmy, which why would they need to watch tape? Like they know who Jimmy is out of all people. So it's been, in the discussion the last few days about, if the faithful are worried about Jimmy going to Seattle, obviously we'd have to face him twice a year if he ended up playing, starting for them. Obviously, we know my thoughts. I could care less. Just get him out of here. We're running out of options. So if that's the last place he can go, like, I don't care. Go.
Exactly.
I would be happy for Fred Warner to get, how many of her interceptions he's going to get off the guy, because we know that Jimmy throws interceptions to linebackers. So and we know that Fred's used to picking Jimmy off.
Exactly.
So I'd be happy for him to go. People are like, well, he could be giving them secrets about the 49ers. He knows Kyle's scheme. Who cares? The scheme's changing. And the Seattle knows us. Like,
Exactly.
what other info are you going to give them? Like, their coaching staff's not idiots.
Yeah.
And if that was like such a worry, like, we just got a coach from them, so we could be getting the same amount of info from this coach that Jimmy would be able to give them. Like, it works the same way. So, like,
Exactly.
that's such a ridiculous freaking reason, I think.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
No, I totally agree with you. People, I've seen so many people sit there and they're worried, like, oh, there's no way you should trade him to a division team. He might tear us apart. Like, are we watching the same quarterback? Like,
Yeah.
it's comedy to me. I mean, the man threw 5 interceptions in practice. You know what I mean? So, Aziz, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, even Jimmy Ward be sitting there licking their chops. Like, oh, because if anybody knows his weakness the most, it's us. So people ain't talking about that. Like, oh, well, he can give up secrets and this and that. Well, it's the same with us. We know Jimmy. We know his bread and butter. We know his strengths. We know his weaknesses. So it's a plus for us as well. So I'm
Right.
not worried about that. And you said it best. Yeah, people, they might understand Kyle's scheme, but it's going to be a different quarterback. So they're not going to be used to having to, to cover a deep ball and stuff like that. So it's going to be a different type of offense, regardless of who's calling the plays. We have a different type of quarterback. You know what I'm saying? No,
Right.
Tanya, we haven't did the contest yet. So yeah, so I'm not worried at all. It's funny to me. People are like, well, Seattle's be the worst place. No, it wouldn't. And then like Mike Florio comes up with something, I think yesterday or the day before, when us as 49er fans have been talking about this for months. But he was like, oh, I think the Jimmy G can be traded to the Houston Texans. Well, you know what? If I'm Houston Texans, I'm not taking that. I mean, if he's cut, I'll probably pick him up. I wouldn't trade for him because I feel like Davis Mills looked serviceable last year. And this is funny to me because everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's a good team. That's a good team. If you're paying attention, most of us Niner fans in this chat, you and I have mentioned the Houston Texans. I feel like, what's his name? Ving Rhames on Baby Boy talking to Tyrese, talking about you think you got some new stuff going on out here?
Yeah.
No, we've been talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Melvin talking to Jody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this ain't nothing new out here. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah.
it's just funny to me how, people are thinking like that's, oh, I can't believe nobody talked about that. We've been talking about that. To me, I feel like if he's cut, there's more options.
Yeah.
Obviously, because people can, you might look at the Browns who might say, oh, I only got to pay him such and such, or Tampa Bay. I just do not seeing somebody trading for this dude. Why would you trade a draft pick for a $25 million possible 1 year rental unless you say, hey, I'm going to trade for you, but you need to give us a contract extension?
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
only
only way I
way.
can see it, is if
That's the
they
only
extend
way.
it.
Yeah, so that's how I see it. If they extend him, but other than that, I'm not trading. I don't care if it's a fourth, fifth, sixth. And I think the 49ers and Breezy had said something about on the show when I was on there this morning. It was like people, they're worried about the compensation. And I said it before, like everybody's like, well, we need to get our draft capital back. I feel like Jimmy has given us second round value at least. They're second round picks who don't even make your squad. You know what I mean? So for a second round pick, for him to be a starting quarterback for, let's just say, even though he's been here 5, or let's just say because of the injuries, he's been here for 3 years. In
Yeah.
3 years, us as a 49er team has gone to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl. So I think you got your value. So if you can get a 6th round pick for him with stipulations, I think you take it. I just hope that they're not sitting back being greedy and, oh, well, I have to get a second, I have to get a third for him, whatever the case may be. Just say, you know what, I'll give somebody a 6th, or let somebody give you a 6th, and then put stipulations where it can go to maybe a 3rd round pick. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then we're good. And then just wash our hands clean of him and be done with it. But I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen. Training camps in about 2 weeks or
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think that, that's when people will probably see him throw more publicly. And I think that's when either the cuts are going to come in, or maybe like a day 3 trade. But I feel like if we make a trade without an extension, we're going to have to eat some of that contract. I think they're going to say we'll pay 65%, you pay 35, whatever the case may be. Or they'll say, okay, he's owed 25 million, I'll pay 15, you pay 10, whatever the case may be. I just don't see somebody trading and eating that full salary. So
Yeah, and I don't think that we should pay part of his salary just to get a freaking 6th round pick. Like, I'd much rather just cut him and not have to pay him shit and be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be more pissed off if they pay part of his fucking salary than if they were to just cut him, cut the losses, or trade him for a fucking 7th. I don't care, but don't pay that
Yeah.
man any more freaking money.
And you know what's so stupid about that? To me, it's a lose-lose situation as well. Because if you would have cut him 3 months ago, you're only paying 7.5. If they say, "Oh, we'll give you a draft capital and you pay 10," you're still losing. Now you're paying
Yeah,
2.5 million more than you would have just by cutting them. So
yeah,
it's just it's crazy to me. I just hope that this regime don't get greedy and they just understand. Like, look, I really hope in back of their mind that they're just like, man, as soon as he can throw, we'll call around, see if we can get something for him. If not, we're gonna have to release his dude because he needs to be gone before our first preseason game. I'm sorry, like he does not need to be on this roster. And for the people thinking, and I'm gonna say this before we move on, and for the people saying, oh, we should just offer him a backup role, give him a pay cut. Well, first of all, I don't think that Jimmy's doing that. There's no way I'm taking a pay cut if you have to guarantee me 25 million by week one. So I'm not taking a pay cut. And two, I don't care if they say, oh, he's only been making 4 million a year, still get rid of him because that locker room's going to be divided. The fan base is already a mess, as we talked about prior to. I know Breezy and 40 Media and Manuel and Bryant just got on. We're talking about how, like, I don't remember a year where the fan base was so divided over a quarterback where we're calling each other names, trying to meet up and fight each other. And I mean, it's just that's ridiculous. These dudes don't know you. These dudes don't have nothing invested in you. Yet you're sitting here saying, "Oh, I'll meet you at the mall, and I'm gonna knock you out if I see you." And it's just ridiculous. And I just hate to see this as a fan base. We're you know we're a 5-time Super Bowl champs. We need to be a classy organization. And I understand there's going to be some knuckleheads in every single fan base, but at the same time, it's like, man, we're the faithful here, but we don't act like it. We sit here, you know, before how the newbies got on, the new people got on. I was saying, like, the way that we were dragging Robert Turbin today is how we should be every day. We should come together, be united, and come and stay with each other and go against other fan bases and not so much fighting each other because we do that way too much. Meet me in the parking lot. I'll pick you up at the airport, and I'm gonna throw hands, and it's just like these dudes don't know. Like I said, these dudes don't know you, man. If I was an athlete and I found out two fans threw hands at me because they don't want me to be the starter, I'm laughing. Like, these fools really fought and I don't even know their name. It's crazy to me. So yeah, I just hope that going forward, once Jimmy's off this team, I just hope that everybody hopes that, everybody gets back to how we were and start being more united, because keeping this man on his team as a backup is not good business, in my opinion.
yeah. I agree. He could be there for free. Like, we could not have to pay him not even $1 million, and I wouldn't want to keep him because that's a freaking horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Before we
that's
move
horrible
on,
for Trey, for everybody.
Yeah. Before we move on, Brian, I totally agree with you. I agree with you not being toxic in the locker room. However, there's still that as a team, I know that I feel like it'll be split locker room because there's receivers and these offensive players that have been training with Trey since the offseason. Jimmy said his goodbyes. I think keeping him on this team would just not be a smart move, in my opinion. I understand they're all grown men and they'll get over it. But at the same time, I just don't think that's a smart move for an organization, because what confidence are you giving a Trey? You know what I'm saying? Like, if Jimmy's saying his goodbyes and then you tell Trey, like, oh, we're just gonna go ahead and keep Jimmy and we're gonna have an open competition, this and that. Because let's keep it a buck here, you guys. As a fan base, as much as we all, well, for the most of us, love Trey, if he goes in week one, week two, and he's like two interceptions, two touchdowns and 5 interceptions or something like that, what do you think is going to happen? The vets are going to be like, hey, you know what? Let's put Jimmy back in because he's not, it's not looking good and blah blah blah. And I just don't agree with that. I just think the best thing to do is give Trey the reins, give him the key to the cars, give him the key to the car, and let him roll. Like, I just feel like Jimmy on this team is just not good business. So
Yeah. Um, real quick, David, I have your envelope with your giveaway sitting here, but I need your address. If you could DM me on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, you can email me at mariah35@gmail.com. Your address so I can get it mailed out. And then what's up to, I want to say what's up to everybody that came
Yeah.
in. Kali, Bryant, Tanya, Manuel, David, Breezy, 49er Media. What's up, everybody? I think I got everybody. Hope you guys are still great. Yes, I have all the giveaways at the door right now. Everything's packaged up. I'm just waiting until I get the giveaway winners from today. And then everything will go out in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on out of that. Last week or Saturday, not last week, but Saturday we talked about how I think it was PFF2 or some who knows the NFL execs, whoever the hell that is, put out a list about the NFL's top rosters or where they rank the NFL's rosters, and the 49ers were in the 20th down in there. This week PFF put out a list top 5 NFC rosters. They have Tampa Bay number 1. The Rams number 2, Green Bay number 3, the Eagles number 4, and the Saints number 5. So, yeah. Like, I don't know how people can look at the 49ers roster and not give this team love. Like, us doing these position breakdowns and who we think's going to make the team, like, has been so difficult because the amount of talent from top end to the backups is just so stacked. And like I always say this, that the guys that we're having to, make cuts or hope that we can put to the practice squad, or well, maybe somebody, might trade for this person or whatever. Like these are all people that would be starting on other NFL rosters. And yet, like we continue to get no respect. Like the Saints, they have a defense, but like their wide receivers don't ever even fucking show up to play. Their running back isn't he going to be fucking suspended or some shit? Like we don't even know what the deal is
Yeah.
with
I don't even
him.
know what's going on. Yeah. I don't know.
Their quarterback is like coming back from an injury, and they have like 3 quarterbacks that they just want to switch back and forth and around, and yet we're putting them ahead of us. The Eagles, I mean, they have an okay team, but their quarterback, if people are questioning Trey Lance, that's the quarterback over there that you guys need to be questioning. And then the Packers, like, who? You have Aaron Rodgers and who's that's a better team than the 49ers? Like, I'm not understanding. Like, he doesn't even have anybody to fucking throw to. Like, Tampa Bay, yeah, we know they're stacked because obviously Tom Brady put together the team. And the Rams, I mean, they've lost. Like, I wouldn't have them number 2 either. But, I mean, they deserve to be in the top 5.
Yeah,
But that
absolutely.
list is just like a whole clusterfuck. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
It's atrocious. I mean, I get it. I think what it comes down to, they're looking at our roster and they're probably just thinking, well, they got a first year quarterback. I think that's what it comes down to. It comes down to who we have at quarterback. Because I feel like if Jimmy was starting quarterback, we'd probably be top 5 because I mean, we were just in the NFC Championship. So to not have us in the top 5 because of one position change to me is crazy. Because we still have Kyle Shanahan, we still have D'Amico Ryans, you know what I mean, and Chris Kasarik. So you know, the Niners never give any, never get any love. I feel, and I'm okay with that. I mean, it's frustrating sometimes, but at the same time, I mean, there's 7 spots for the AFC and NFC to make the playoffs. So, we're definitely a top 4 team, in my opinion. I mean, I can understand putting, Tampa Bay and LA. And even if you want to put the Packers, okay, fine, because they do still have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will find a way to make it work, I guess. And his division to me is not as strong as ours, I guess you could
But
say.
this
You know
is
what I mean?
top rosters, not
Yeah.
about
So yeah, well,
where they're going to
yeah,
win in the division.
yeah, but I think people feel like like the Packers have a pretty solid defense, but I think people are looking at Aaron Rodgers as like he's an elite quarterback and he can elevate that team. that, they're looking at Tom Brady. He can elevate that team. They're looking at the Rams. They just won a Super Bowl, so I get that. But I think they're looking at us as a whole. Yeah, I get it. But I think they're not having us as high because they feel like Trey's probably going to hinder us. That's how I'm seeing it. That's probably why I think we're not top five. But like you said, you're putting your faith in Jameis Winston. You're putting your faith in Jalen Hurts. Like, that's crazy to me. So I like it. That means less expectations. That means when I go to the sports book and bet that the 49ers are going to go to the NFC Championship, there's more money in my pocket if they go. Because that means the odds are going to be that much lower than what we feel as a fan base. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm okay with that. We've been getting hated on since the offseason. Trey's been taking so much crap. I saw this one list. I don't know who it was. Maybe somebody in the chat can help me out. They had us ranked 18th as the best roster, like the 18th best team in football. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Keep on. I don't care that you keep hating on us. At the end of the day, week one is around the corner. And once we get our full roster on that football field and we start to dominate, I want all the receipts. I want everybody to pull out the receipts and come after all these dudes, whether it's the national media, whether it's the fan base, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm so over it that I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk anymore. I think the Niners are going to come in and shock the world. So that's what I say about that.
Yep, I already put in my bets for us to win the NFC, to us to win the Super Bowl, for Trey Lance to have the most throwing yards, for Trey Lance to win MVP. I'm betting it all up. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let him keep hating. Because at the end, I'll just be collecting the money, just like I did with the Warriors. And as Chris from the Polo Show, make sure you guys go subscribe to the Polo Show.
Mm-hmm.
He says, East Coast bias in national sports media is real. Remember, the Warriors were given a 14% chance to win the NBA Finals by ESPN. And even while the Warriors were, at the beginning of the finals, they were still down. Oh, no, they're going to lose. Like, are you freaking kidding me? All the way up until the time that Curry's there holding the trophy, everybody was saying the Warriors are going to lose. Like, it was so sad.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, we constantly see Dallas Cowboys hyped up every freaking season. The Eagles hyped up every single season. And they have the worst fucking division in football constantly. Like, I can't remember the last time they didn't have the worst division in football.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams are constantly 8-8 was the Dallas Cowboys forever that I could ever remember. Yeah. Like, now it's going to be 8-9 or whatever because they changed the amount of games. But, like, they'll forever be the 8-8 fucking Cowboys to me. And they constantly get hyped up.
I love it. Like last year, for instance, the 49ers were projected to go to the playoffs, but I forgot what the record was at the sports book, but I won $200 from them going to the playoffs, and I won another $400 for them going to the NFC Championship. So that was easy money in my pocket. I spent less than $100 and walked away with $600. So hey, that's all good. And if they would have went to the Super Bowl, I would have won another $600, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to make the same bets again. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to say, hey, but I might put more. I might say, hey, let me get $100 on 49ers going to the NFC Championship, just to see what happens, or $100 just to see it go to the Super Bowl. So yeah, keep sleeping on us. I'm cool with that. So that's what it comes down to.
Yep. I mean, I'm just hoping that, like, remember going into the 2019 season when that clown, whatever his name is, posted us to win like 5 games or 3 games.
Oh yeah, Adam Rank. Adam Rank was like, we're gonna go 3-13 or whatever. Yeah.
And like, not just that, of course, but the players, they heard all this shit, and you start to take that shit personal and go out there and fucking play your ass off, and like, that's the team that we need to show up this season. Like, take all this shit that's out there and the noise, because they can say they don't hear it and they don't this, they don't that. But, there they are on freaking Twitter all the time and on IG Live all the time. They see the shit that's being said out there.
Yeah.
So use all that as fuel. You guys aren't coming out and sticking up for your freaking quarterback the way you should. So use all that as fuel that they're talking all this hate about your quarterback, and go out and freaking play for him, please.
Yep.
Like, show the fuck up so that these people can shut the fuck up.
Yep. And I give Adam Rank, Collie said Adam stank, but I give
Exactly.
I give Adam Rank his props, because even though he said we're going 3-13, he manned up and said I was wrong. You know what I mean? So I can't do nothing but
Yeah,
give him
he's
his
been
respect for that.
he's had his head in the freaking laps of the 49ers since. So
Since then, yep.
um yeah, Chris says they couldn't even get Nick Bosa's name right in the playoffs. That constantly they're always calling him Joey, like
Yeah,
in the
all the time.
playoffs and regular, in
Every
Sunday night
primetime
games and
game.
every,
Yeah, every
yeah, that's what I'm
primetime game.
saying.
Yeah.
Like it's so freaking embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like I think that Nick should be more of a talk than Joey to me personally, and yet they can't even get the guy's name right.
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody else had anything. No. Let's go on. Let's start. Before we go into the list, we'll segue with it to this. Trent Williams received a 99 Madden rating this week. The first offensive lineman to ever receive a 99 in Madden. So that's pretty awesome. Definitely well deserved. We know that he's the beast and the best out there.
Yeah.
Normally, when it comes up and they do all the videos for the 99 Maddens, and I'm always like, that'd be so awesome to actually see a 49ers player getting that, but we never get to see that. So
Yeah.
finally to see one of our players like receiving some shine and a national spotlight, like a game that's played all over the world, like for him to get that 99 rating and be the first one of his kind to ever do it, like that's an awesome accomplishment. So shout out to him. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
I thought that was awesome. I like how they showed up at this house and they had that box, to
Yeah,
give him Israel. It was awesome. Like, if anybody deserves it, it's him. All the stuff he's been through, beating cancer. And for him to still be playing at this level after beating cancer is just
yep,
absolutely amazing.
yep,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would think after beating cancer, he would have lost a step or two, and I feel like he got more dominant. If you can be honest here, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I feel like he's just such a beast. Like, his work ethic is amazing. I love that guy, man. Like, he's so like, and what I like about him too is he's so humble. Like, he doesn't sit here and brag about himself and say, "Oh, I know I'm the best." He just goes out there week in week out and he shows up. So
yep. Um, Also came out this week a Commanders. I guess like the Commanders do, I don't know, the top whatever players in their franchise or yada yada, some shit that they do. So they had put out the list of the people, I don't know if the fans vote or how they get into it, but they put out a list and somehow whoever votes on it goes through to their top whoever players in franchise history. That list came out this week and they didn't put Trent Williams on that list. And I guess that, they posted the list, that night or whatever. And by the next morning, there was such a fan outcry, like talking so much shit that they left Trent Williams off that list that they put out a new list the next morning and with Trent Williams on it. So that was cool to see that, the fans actually stuck, even though he's not there anymore. The fans realize what a great player that he was and such a great person for that organization, even though they ended up screwing him at the end. So that was pretty cool to see the fans come up and stick up for
yeah.
him.
That code that Breezy put, that's the most epic code for
Yeah,
any video game I've ever had. For you to get to 30, it's funny too, because I'm the oldest sibling, so me and my brother used to play Contra, and I would put that code in before we started the game. And our brother, he would use, so it give me 30 men and him 30 men, and he would still lose all his men and come and steal mine. Remember you guys can steal
yeah.
your players' men. So that code, and I remember on Mario Brothers, I think it was World 3-2, where you're coming up before you jump on the flags, you jump on that turtle and you get all those men. Do you guys remember that?
Oh
Like that,
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. Like, so you jump on that turtle and you just get all those. I think it was World 3-2. So those two codes right there were the best of any video game I've ever had. But yeah, the up, up, down, down is amazing. And the reason why that was brought up, because the guy's name we can't pronounce said that Trent Williams is like a Contra code. He's a cheat code. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah,
Yep.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I did watch the Silverback documentary. It's very good. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out.
Hmm.
I definitely cried.
Hmm.
But we know that doesn't take much around here. Hey Ryan, I appreciate it. Debo that like button. Make sure you guys go over and check out Ryan at No Border Sports. Subscribe over there. Great people over there.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into. We'll start with the quarterback since that won't take long at all. What our quarterback depth chart is looking like.
So as of today, July 12th,
Hey, Sin.
2022, we have 4 quarterbacks on this roster. We have Trey Lance, Sudfeld, Brock Purdy, and Jimmy Garoppolo. We have 4 quarterbacks on. So Nate Sudfeld was, what was he given, 2 or 3 million to be our backup or something like that.
Yep.
So 2 or 3 million. So I feel like he, he's gonna. I think he's set in stone as our backup. I just don't think he's going anywhere. He's also. I heard he's like a good teammate too. Like he'll sit back. He helps Trey Lance, stuff like that. Brock Purdy. He was a draft pick, and what I will say about this regime, like they covet their draft picks. Like they'll give you a chance at least a year on the practice squad or a year on the roster, at least a year or two, depending on how high you were drafted. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like even though he's not going to make the 53-man roster, I think Brock Purdy will
No.
definitely be. I feel like Brock Purdy will definitely be on the practice squad. So you have him. So our 2 quarterbacks on this roster we're only going to keep 2. We're going to keep Trey Lance and Nate Sudfeld. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think ultimately will get cut. Whether it's before a day before week 1, whatever, before that money is guaranteed, I just don't see anybody trading any draft capital for him unless there's an extension involved. Unless somebody says, give me a 2-3 year extension or a 2 year extension, so then that'll put him on their team to like 2025 or something like that. That's the only way I see it. And I've seen people say like, oh well, maybe we can pay some salary. Unless it's less than 7.5 million, we've been bamboozled. Because the simple fact that if we would have traded him when we were supposed to, or cut him when we were supposed to, that 7.5 million would have been in his pocket. But to sit here and say, well, let's take a 6 and then pay, the team pay 15 million and we pay 10 million, that's stupid, because now we're paying more money from then we should have just cut him. So I think ultimately that's our quarterback depth for the 53-man. We only have 4, so it's a little bit easier to break down. So yeah, Nate Sudfeld is the backup. Trey Lance is going to be our starter. Brock Purdy on the practice squad, and Jimmy will be cut off this team. I don't believe we find a trade partner for him, so I believe he gets cut sometime before preseason game 1.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a little shake up in the quarterback room because that's how I do. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo ain't gonna be on this freaking team. Okay, so we don't have to say any more about that. Trey Lance is my number 1. He's always been my number 1 since he was drafted to this team. My number 2 is going to be Brock Purdy because he's going to beat out Sudfeld in training camp. Nate Sudfeld will sit his ass on the practice squad because that's where he likes to sit. He's good to be on the practice squad. That's where he's spent most of his freaking career. So spend it there. And I don't care that we're paying him $3,000, $3 million, whatever. That they'll protect him. They protected him all last year. I think Brock Purdy going in as the backup to run scout team and all that. So, yep, I'm putting him as QB2.
Nice shake up there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Before we start the O-line, we'll go ahead and do a giveaway, but it's not going to be for the Debo card yet. You guys have to wait. Those that don't want to wait, too bad. Check back later, but we're waiting for that one.
Right. While you do the giveaway, I'm going to take my dog out real quick.
Okay. So, yeah, everybody drop your numbers, 1 to 100, no duplicates, and we will do a random giveaway. Melissa with the first number, 40. JB, we're doing a giveaway now. So you don't miss it. Don't let JV snipe this, guys. If JV wins this, I'm going to be so mad at all of you guys. I already had to put extra postage on his envelope because he's already won too much shit. So no mas. JV, hold my beer. Keep him busy. He's probably trying to down his beer right now so he can hurry up and type a number. I agree, David. Jimmy G can go anywhere but here.
I love that comment. He doesn't have the arm strength to throw himself off the team. I'm feeling that. That's awesome.
Like JV, he's too busy. He don't know. He's gonna miss out on the damn giveaway. He's checking in all this time. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? No, he's gonna
Hold my
miss it.
beer.
All right. Well, we let you give you guys a couple minutes for that. We'll go ahead and start the O line. We're just gonna do it all together because I put mine all together.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Want me to go first?
Yep.
All right. So, as of now, we have 15 offensive linemen on this roster entering into training camp. Last year, we only kept 8, which is surprising to me. I thought we kept like 9 or 10, but no, it was only 8 offensive linemen total, which was crazy. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked. But this year, I think we're gonna keep. I think we'll keep one more. I think we keep 9. And this, to me, was harder than the defensive line. Because I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know the progression. Like I feel like with the D line, like we kind of know who's who already, but we have so many newcomers. We had like Tom Compton left. We had Laken Tomlinson that left, stuff like that. So I think what it comes down to is versatility. And I know Izzy's in here. I know she killed me from my defensive tackle roster, but I'm gonna go ahead with my offensive line roster, which, like I said, this was tough, you guys. And I like to see your guys' comments. So who do you think we're going to keep? Like I said, we kept 8 offensive linemen last year. I'm keeping 9 for 2022 just because of Mike McGlinchey's injury history. You know, his injuries was pretty bad. Yeah, Melissa had to mention Compton, but he was solid. I'm going to give him his props. Last second half of the season, he played pretty solid. So, yeah, so here's the guys I'm keeping on the 53-man roster.
She said you deserved it.
Hey, it's all good. Here's the 9 players I'm keeping on the 53-man roster, and then I think we keep 4 on the practice squad. And then, like I said, we have a total of 15 right now. So there's gonna be a few guys on this team that 6-7 guys are going to get cut or practice squad. So here's who I have so far on the offensive line. Well, here's who I have. Sorry, going forward for the offensive line for the 53-man. I have Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey, Jake Brindle, Jalen Moore, Spencer Burford, Justin School, and Nick Sakelj. That was hard for me because I was kind of battling of out of the rookies who might get beat out by Colton McKivitz. But I think ultimately Nick Sakelj, he offers he can play pretty much every position on the line. He even takes snaps at center.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why he stays on this roster, because other than that, we don't have anybody else who's going to be playing center. And I understand we have Donovan West, but I'll get to him in a second. Justin School, during the mini camps, he was playing very well. I heard nothing but good things about Justin School, and he's going into this is his 4th year, I think.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
The 3rd or 4th, whatever, because he spent all last year because he got hurt. So I think he's going into his 4th. But anyway, I heard nothing but good things about Justin School. He was doing good coming back from injury, which was surprising to me. Like I had forgot about the guy, but then I was like, oh man, he's doing good. So that's good to hear. That's a good problem to have. Jake Brindle, obviously starting center. Jalen Moore, him and Aaron Banks obviously coming into their 2nd year. I like what they're going to bring to the team. Moore is probably going to ultimately play guard. Daniel Brunskill is probably going to be like another Dante Johnson. He's going to stay on this team forever until he can't play no more. So that's how I have it. Nick Sakelj, Spencer Burford, to me, I feel like he's our left tackle of the future. And I heard he was doing great also in mini camp. So yeah, it's one of those things, man. It was hard. It was hard for me to pick these 9 guys, but that's the 9 I ultimately decided to go with. And I'll read them again for the newcomers. Hey, Denise.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Denise, everybody enter your numbers. You got 30 more seconds.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read the 53-man again. Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey, Jake Brindle, Jalen Moore, Spencer Burford, Justin School, and Nick Sakelj. Colton McKivitz was the one that I kind of battled with, keeping on this line. For practice squad, I know people are high on Donovan West, but I'm going to say this: he wasn't a draft pick. I get it. He was the highest paid undrafted guy that we brought in, but ultimately he wasn't a draft pick. And I think that Kyle and them will spend more time trying to get Nick Sakelj and Spencer Burford up to speed and let Donovan West kind of be the backup on the practice squad and learn and stuff like that. Then I have Alfred Gutierrez, and then Colton McKivitz on my practice squad. I think we keep 4 linemen on the practice squad. So yeah, so that's my list, and all the other guys are going to get cut. Like guys like there's guys that probably people never heard of. Like you got a guy named Keaton Sutherland that I've never even heard of, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah.
Sam Schuster, or whatever his name is, Schuster. I don't know who that is. So yeah, I don't know. He's not going to make the team, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's my list. 9 on the offensive line. That's on the 53-man roster, and 4 on the practice squad. So.
Yeah, no, you guys didn't miss it. You just now made it. But this isn't for the Devo card yet. This is for whatever random card you get. We'll do the Devo card at the end, but you guys just now made it. Yeah, I kept 9 as well, and also have 4 going to the practice squad, but not the same 9 and 4 as you.
Cool.
So before I get
like
into mine, we'll go ahead and pick. I know John, he flew in right at the last minute to put in his number.
I saw that. The 49er media, I like that list too. So you're thinking we're going to keep 10 offensive linemen on the 53-man, huh?
Here we go. 31.
Let me go up and see these numbers here.
Good luck.
Okay.
All right, we'll let you pick the numbers while I do my stuff.
All right.
All right, so for mine, obviously, Trent Williams goes without saying. I'm keeping Jalen Moore. I am keeping Colton McKivitz because he was somebody last year when they, released him from the 53. Like everybody on the team, the reporters, the media, like everybody was super surprised that guy didn't make the team. So I really think that he will make the team this year. Just in school, I have Donovan West and Jake Brindle both making it. Daniel Brunskill, Aaron Banks, Mike McGlinchey, and yeah. For the practice squad, I have Spencer Burford, Jason Poe, Alfredo Gutierrez, and Nick Sakelj. And I do as well think that Nick Sakelj will play a role on this team in the future. The same as I hope for Spencer Burford and Jason Poe. I just don't think it's their time right now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So, if you can double check for me on these numbers, it looks like no Borders won from what I see. It's not guaranteed yet, so don't get your hopes up. I'm just saying the number was 31, and the closest I see is 27. So.
Looks like it's to me. Check one more time. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Congrats, Ryan. Let's see what you get. Let's draw him out something good here. Trey Lance. QB1. Rookie card. So if you can DM me your address, congrats, Ryan. If you could do it today, that'd be great because then I could get this mailed out in the morning.
Congratulations.
Congrats. And yeah, we'll do the giveaway for the Devo card shortly. So stay tuned.
Sounds good. Yeah. So your list was name your practice squatters again.
Burford, Poe, Sakelj, and Gutierrez.
Oh, So you have West on the 53 man.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do.
Do you agree that this list was harder than the defensive lineman?
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
And um, I mean, from all accounts, what we heard with Jake Brendel is that he's going to be the starter. My hopes is that West beats him out in training camp, but
Mm,
obviously, that's going to be a hard thing to do.
yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, Jake Brendel sat on the practice squad and all this other stuff, and no other teams ever picked him up either.
Yeah.
So how good is he really? We don't know. All we hear is hearsay, and Trey Lance likes him, but I mean that's the guy Trey Lance has worked with, since
That's
he
who he's
yeah,
comfortable with.
that's what
Yeah.
he can. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
So I mean he's going to ride for his guys. So it'll be interesting to see definitely the battles on this O line. That's one during training camp I'm definitely looking for between Donovan and Jake Brendel. I would love Jason Poe to make the team. We obviously know I'm a big Jason Poe stan, but I mean, we'll see if it's like who's he going to beat out? Like, if I had the choice, Daniel Brunskill wouldn't make this team. But it's like, are these rookies, going to be able to beat him out? That's the thing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I had to look at this list, I think Brendel, obviously, Trent Williams, obviously, but other than Trent Williams, I think the safest person would probably be Brunskill, just because Kyle trusts him. He's been on the team for a while. He can play all five positions. Although I never want to see him play center again. He was horrendous playing center. But yeah, I just think it's one of those things where where it's like, Trent Williams, I think Banks obviously is probably going to be safe because of where he was drafted. But yeah, I kept 9 this year. As I mentioned before, if anybody didn't hear me previously, we kept 8 offensive linemen last year. And then but I just think with Mike McGlinchey's injury, I think we're probably going to keep 9. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out and stuff like that. But yeah, the way, I mean, we said here, and we've always said, like, man, like, we need to get offensive linemen. Like, that was always so going into training camp. The offensive line camp battle is the most excited, is what I'm most excited to
yeah.
see. Like, I'm like I already know we're deep at corner. I know we're deep at wide receiver. Like, I feel like the wide receivers are set at the 1, 2, and 3. I think it's just Danny Gray and Ray McLeod battling out for the 4 and 5. You know what I mean? So even though receivers exciting, I just want to, I'm not as excited to see what goes on in that position group like I am with offensive line, because I feel like ultimately, if the offensive line plays well, then Trey will play well, and then we don't have to worry about anything. Like, I'm not worried about any other position except for offensive line. I mean, I think you asked me months ago, I was terrified when we lost Tomlinson. I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Then Alex Mack retired. I'm like, crap. Like, how are we gonna protect our investment in Trey? And I hate calling them that because they're people, but
Yeah.
how are we gonna protect our future quarterback? You know what I mean? So it's like, now that we have all these offensive linemen, I feel like, last year we drafted 2 in Jalen Moore and who else? And Banks. And this year we go and get 2 more as far as draft picks in Zakelj and Spencer Burford, then bring in 2 more undrafted free agents. So we brought in a total of 6. And then the year before that, we drafted Colton McKivitz. So in the last 3 years, we've brought in 7 new offensive linemen to try to get this offensive line intact. Not I don't think they drafted as high as I would want them to as far as Banks, because I thought offensive line was a major weakness. However, you know, I'm gonna trust what Kyle and them are doing. But with these new offensive linemen, it's gonna be hard because somebody's gonna go. It depends on who's hungry, who has the best technique. Like I said, and you put Colton McKivitz in your final 53 man. He was one that I kind of battled with, like I said, because I look at him and Jalen Moore, and remember when Trent Williams got hurt, Colton McKivitz is the one that came in, which surprised everybody. Like, what?
Mhm.
He's going to be the starting left tackle? I thought it'd be Jalen Moore, and it wasn't. So, but I think personally, these other offensive linemen, even though Zakelj and Spencer Burford are newer, I feel like they're just more talented than Colton McKivitz just overall, and I think that Jalen Moore is more talented than McKivitz as well. I just think he just has it more in him. I think another year in the weight room, another year under the system, I feel like he's going to be more improved. So McKivitz was kind of my outside guy outside looking in. However, wouldn't shock me if he made it and they put Spencer Burford or Nick Sakelj on the practice squad. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, linebacker, corner, all this stuff. Like I'm excited to see. Obviously, I'm excited to see the whole team. But man, this offensive line is going to be like do or die. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be up to them. I feel like how this team plays. So.
I mean, and this is all dependent too. We don't know what Mike McGlinchey is going to be like coming back off the injury.
Yeah.
Same with Justin Schools. From all accounts, they're doing great, but they haven't had pads on. They haven't played football.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, it's going to be up to them too. Is Mike going to be able to play?
Exactly. Yeah.
If not, obviously that has a big change on how this roster shapes up.
Yeah.
So
because he might, yeah, you're right. He might be on the pup for 6 weeks or something. You know what I mean? He might be on the pup, and if that's the case, I can see Brunskill playing tackle, and then and it'll be like Colton McKivitz or Jalen Moore, somebody who's going to be battling out for the right guard spot. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm so excited. Like, it's funny because like offensive line is usually the position I go in every season. Like, oh, okay, we're going to be okay, especially when we had, help, like last year, for instance, when I saw it was going to be Alex Mack and Laken Tomlinson, and I was like, okay, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we drafted Aaron Banks, so I thought he was going to start. I thought he was going to be our right guard last year. So then I was like, okay, I'm cool. But this year, after all that happened, I was a little worried. But like I said, I think this camp battle, we have so many bodies that it's a good thing. So we'll see what's happening. Who knows? We might have a sleeper like Alfredo Gutierrez might come out and just dominate at guard because he's now going into his second year in this system. And then that's a big guy. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Like we could put him like at the middle of the defensive line if Kinlaw's not healthy.
I mean,
we could stick Gutierrez in there, like to just eat up the triple teams and shit.
I mean, what is he, like 6'8" and something?
Yeah,
he's
like
huge.
Especially when we play against like Arizona and these shorter quarterbacks, like they can't be thrown over him.
Yeah. So yeah,
just sticking right up there.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat have any questions about our list? Like you need to understand why we did it, or
yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, and go ahead and you guys can drop your numbers for the Deebo Samuel card. JV, you here?
I'll text JV right now and tell him. Wifey took his AirPods. That's hilarious. You should have kept that to yourself, JV.
First number from Joel, 16. Yeah, I don't think he makes the 53 either.
Yeah, I don't either, Collie. I'm just saying, like, I just put a name out there. Like, we don't know who's going to surprise. Like, it could be somebody who we don't expect. Like, who knows? Jason Poe might come out and just dominate, and we're like, man, where the heck did he come from? And then he makes it. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like I said, there's so many bodies that are in competition this year, but it's going to be hard. I think ultimately when the 53-man roster drops, it wouldn't surprise me who makes it because we have so much competition. So, but these are the guys I like you said. Brunskill is one of those guys where it's like, I'd rather go with the youth, but at the same time, we have such a young quarterback, and he knows the scheme. I'd rather him be out there. To be honest, I'm more comfortable him being there. So
I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was getting paid the millions to make them, they'd be a little easier.
Yeah, it'd be, yeah. Well, then if we were in that position, it might be easier for us because we're there and that's our job. We're doing this every day, So.
Thanks, Denise. Okay. You guys are awesome as well.
Appreciate you, Denise.
I appreciate you all. Brian says, I think the Niners offense with Trey will be like Jimmy offense. I think the difference will be early deep shots to get on teams early. I really hope after that they continue to run the ball. I mean, we're definitely going to still be running the ball.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a run first team regardless.
Yeah.
I hope it is a little bit more even though. Like we don't have to rely as much on the run because we have a quarterback that can't do things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But like you said, it's going to be a lot more deep shots. I think there's going to be a lot of I think we're gonna see. I mean, yeah, I agree, Brian. It's gonna be some similar stuff because that's just how Kyle is. But I feel like we're gonna see the Atlanta offense from what was it, 2016. I feel like it's gonna be so diverse where we're like throwing it over the field, over the middle. It's not gonna be a lot of hospital balls, in my opinion, because I think Trey and hopefully, and I said this before, and I think Izzy was on here, a couple other people. I really hope that this offensive line is so good that Kittle is used as a receiving tight end. If Kittle is used as a receiving tight end, they can forget about it. Because if we have him running free like Travis Kelsey and Mark Andrews and them do, if he's running free, can't nobody guard him. No linebacker's gonna guard Kittle. And he's too strong for any safety that's gonna try to guard him. So if you have him as an actual receiving tight end with a healthy, receiving core and a Debo and Ayuk and then a Juwan Jennings and Kyle Juszczyk, I don't see anybody stopping this offense. I think Trey will make smart choices because I think there's going to be a lot of one-on-one coverage instead of trying to throw it over the middle and getting smacked by a bunch of linebackers and stuff like that. So I just have a feeling like I said this previously and everybody kind of laughed at me, but Trey Lance I think can win. Trey Lance can win the MVP in this offense. And everybody says, "Well, how can you say that? He's not even the best quarterback." Well, neither was Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was never considered a top 3 quarterback in this NFL. It's all about situation. It's all about, what kind of position you're getting put in. So if Trey can come out, I'm not saying he's gonna do it this year, but I'm just saying by the time his rookie contract is up, I can see him being the MVP of this league.
Yeah. JV, thank you. He says, I love this show. If you don't, you're an asshole. I agree. I don't see any lies
I agree,
there.
Collie.
This one?
Yeah.
I think we see less of the toss play to the perimeter and more inside zone run plays. I completely agree too.
Yep.
And that's why everybody keeps saying, oh, well, why are we getting this running back? He don't fit our system. He can't run the outside zone. Well, maybe it's because we're not going to be running the outside zone. Have you ever thought of that, smarties? But no. They're just saying like, oh, well, this is what we've done, so this is what we're always going to continue to do. It's like you should expect more from Kyle, that this offense is going to be continuously evolving, especially now that we have a more talented quarterback.
And from what Bryant was saying, I expect a lot more throws outside the numbers too. There's not going to be so many throws inside the hash marks because I cringe so many times when Jimmy would throw the ball. It's not because of him. I'm just saying the position, with the area he was throwing the ball in for Ayuk and Debo, it was always like a linebacker and a safety there. It's like, man, somebody's going to get hurt. And then I forgot who we were playing, but that game where Kittle fell and I thought he broke his ACL or tore his ACL or broke his leg and he didn't get hurt. He limped a little bit when he went up high. Nobody won yet, right?
Tanya, make sure your shit's live because I don't know, you're tripping.
Can anybody in the chat help me? Who were we playing at one time when Jimmy threw the ball kind of high to Kittle? It was probably like an 8 to 9 yard pass, and Kittle jumped up and he got hit low, and he landed so awkward where I thought like, oh, he's hurt, and then he got up and he walked it off. Was it Philly? I think was it Philly? I don't remember.
Tanya, or Charlie just doing the giveaway for the Debo Samuel card right now. So enter your number because I'm about to draw it right now. You didn't miss it.
Was it the Cardinals? Oh, yeah, it was the Cardinals. That's right.
Tanya's smoking something over there.
She said, congratulations, fam. I'm like, who is she talking to? Tanya,
Thank you we so much. I'm so glad I could win it.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. I'm definitely believe that special teams will have the biggest jump this season. We're huge on special teams on this show. We think that you have to have, a full 3 playing, offense, defense, special teams, and special teams has definitely been a weakness for us for the last few years. So it looks like they spent some time, money, resources into special teams this year. I love that they got a new special teams coach. I think that was a big problem. And a lot more players that, are actually there to play special teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
I
Love
think Ray
it.
Ray McLeod is going to make a big difference too on punt and kickoff return. So got him, and then I think our tackling is going to be better because we have, we picked up George Odom and Oren Burks. You know what I mean? We got some good special team players out there. So yeah, I think we're going to be fine. And Tarvarius Moore, like he was a good special teamer before his injury
Yeah,
because of his speed. So yeah, I think special teams is going to be worlds better than last year.
I agree. Musa had asked something too. I think O or D, which do you have more faith in? Before you answer that, I'm giving you guys 30 more seconds. Drop your numbers, and I'm going to pick. Okay.
Um, Defense by far. That secondary is looking nice. Like, we can possibly. Me and Mariah talked about this a couple weeks ago because our first position group we broke down was that secondary. We can be losing some very good players. Like Demo who was a fifth round pick last year, who looked serviceable. Yeah, he needed some work, but he can possibly be cut off this team. You know what I mean? Because we have these guys that we drafted in Samuel Womack. But here's the ultimate thing I'm looking at: if Jason Verrett is healthy, you're looking at our starting four corners at Charvarius Ward, Jason Verrett, Ambry Thomas, and Emmanuel Mosley. That right there excites me
Yeah.
because all of them can start. All of them are starting corners. So the fact that you can have those four as your top four corners, and to me, like depending on the flow of the game, like you can like let's just say ultimately the starters are Charvarius Ward and Jason Verrett, and it's like the third quarter or something like that. Be like, you know what? Give you a little bit of a rest. Put in Ambry Thomas and Emmanuel Mosley in for a few series because they're first round because they have starting capability. Let them get some burn to give Charvarius Ward and Jason Verrett some rest. Linebackers is is my favorite out of the
Yeah.
group. Like with the Z's and Greenlaw, Flanagan, Foles, Warner, all those guys, and then the D line. If Javon Kinlaw is healthy, and they finally found something by keeping Eric Armstead inside. The fact that when he moved inside permanently and he dominated, it's going to be nasty. This defensive line is going to eat. I think we're going to have a lot of sacks this year. I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like three guys in double digit sacks, if I'm being honest here. Bosa, Hyder, and Trey, or somebody, along those lines. I
Yeah.
just have a feeling that this D line is going to eat. Kinlaw, like I said, if he's healthy, it's nasty. However, Hassan Ridgeway is just another DJ Jones. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited about this defense. It can honestly be top three, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about so many three and outs. So, I think our defense is going to rest. I think we're going to be a top three defense this year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say defense. I have, a lot of hope and faith that the offense is going to be great. I see, Melissa, this video you just tagged me in with Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk practicing together. Um, yeah, that connection is going to be awesome. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I have, the hope and everything that the offense is going to be great, but we know the defense is great. Like up until this point, our weakness in the defense was the cornerbacks, like especially last season. Um, and I think that we finally have, shored up that weakness. So I'm definitely expecting big things from the defense.
Yes.
And
I
I agree,
totally agree.
they should be a top three defense as well, because the pass rush now has help in the back end. The back end has help with the pass rush. So, and then you got the middle guys there shoring up everything. So let's do this giveaway. Then we can let you guys be on to enjoy the Tuesday evening. We appreciate everybody coming to hang out with us. All your contributions in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Drum roll. 74.
74. Okay. Let me take a look here. Okay. So
74. Perfect number for O line day.
Joe Staley Day.
Yep. Isn't that who now? Burford?
Spencer Burford, yeah.
Yeah.
That people were crying about. Oh, he shouldn't get Staley's number.
People cry about
Um,
everything.
I've all
Jeez.
so I think Denise at 506 was from the other giveaway, right? The comment at 506, number 23, or is that the new one?
No, this is all the new ones.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
starting with uh
I just want to make sure.
Joel's.
At 16?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So Joel at 16, 25, 23, 48. It looks like
62.
62 is the closest I see, but let me keep scrolling. 10 from Tanya.
Yeah, I think it's Tia.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's the highest number I see is 62.
And good, because her package needs to be boxed at the actual place. So like I have just all her stuff there together, like with the rest of the stuff, so I can
Oh,
slip her
really?
card right in there. Congratulations, Tia. She'll be taking home this, or well, not taking it home yet. Sooner or later, once I get it sent, she'll be taking it home. Debo Samuel card, Luminance, number 23 out of 50. Very beautiful card. Congratulations. But yeah, yep,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
add
pretty
it to the
good.
stack.
Yeah, I saw a comment from Denise real quick about Danny Gray, and yeah, I agree with you, Denise. I'm so excited about this receiving core. For one, we haven't had this much speed in a long time. The fact that we have Danny Gray and now to Ray McLeod, like battling out for like in my opinion, the fourth and fifth wide receiver spot is going to be
Yeah.
good. Like got Jennings, who's going to be a dog, I think this year. Like he's so physical. So yeah, I think this. I bet you Kyle's smiling right now because he finally has. I think he finally feels like he has his offense. He has a great mixture of wide receivers. He has his Jawan Jennings, who's a great blocker, can win in jump ball situations because he's so big and stuff like that. A great possession receiver. Then you got your speedsters and Ray McLeod and Danny Gray. And then you got your two Pro Bowl receivers, even though Ayuk hasn't made one. I feel like he can be. And, by this year, you got two other receivers in Debo and Ayuk who can beat you in multiple ways. So I think Kyle just sitting back. He finally has his quarterback that he can, can throw the ball and actually execute his entire playbook instead of having to hold him back and say, "Oh, I can't call this play because my receiver can't throw 50 yards." Like he has a
Yeah.
playbook now where he can where he feels like he can call any play and it be successful. So, yeah. So I bet you Kyle's sitting back like, "Man, I finally got my offense." So yeah, it's gonna be so interesting. So
Yep, I agree. I appreciate you guys all showing love to our new members here, to the Faithfully family. I appreciate you guys. It's good to show love to each other around here.
absolutely,
Um, brother proofing the contest, so I won't win.
brother proof, and that's hilarious. Collie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Juwan Jennings leads the team in touchdowns this season. Even with, obviously, I'm the biggest Brandon Ayuk fan that there is, but I'm expecting, that relationship to be great. I'm expecting him to have a Pro Bowl year, but I just think that Juwan's going to be that, threat in the end zone that
On
we've
the
been
red zone.
missing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's so big, man. He's so physical. He knows how to box people out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he's playing basketball on the football field. Like
Yeah,
he's
that's a
he's gonna,
true meaning when they say he
yeah,
has that dog in him. That's
yeah.
that's
That's
it
that.
right there.
Yeah, that's it. That he has that dog. He's gonna be that guy in the end zone, like boxing people out, just throwing his hands up in the air, like just throw me the ball because he's gonna out jump you, out physical with these corners. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your kind words. And you guys continuing to show us love. Please, please like this video, share it. Let's get some more family in here. We got some great things planned for the year anniversary show. As I posted today, that this sign behind me right here will be one of the giveaways. And we have many other things that we have going for that day.
Exactly. Yep. Can't
So, yeah.
wait. And
Um,
also, before we go, let me just, I want to kind of mention this, if we have to on every show. So, anybody that's coming to Las Vegas, if you already had planned on coming, but you can't, afford any game tickets, whatever the case may be, me and Mariah have have gotten together. We're gonna do the sports bar. We're gonna have it at a sports bar that we rented out. We can have up to 50 guests. It's only $40 a head. So instead of paying $600-700 to go to the game, you can pay $40 to come hang out with us and other 49er faithful for $40 a piece. We're gonna have the bar, our own special private room from noon till 5. So we'll be able to watch the game, and then after 5, the bar said we don't have to leave, so we can stay there and hang out after the bar, and we can have a 49er takeover at that bar. To be honest, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be from 12 to 5. It's only, like I said, it's only $40 a head. There's 2 big screen TVs in there, and I know it's not the same thing as watching it in person, but I feel like it's better because you don't have to worry about sitting away from everybody. We can sit in one room, we can watch the game, have some appetizers, some pizza, have some beer, whatever you guys like to drink, hang out and get to know each other. So, and that'll be the day of the game. So, and that will be January 1st, 2023. So yeah, if you guys are interested, you guys can hit me in my DM so I can put your name down. Before, if you want to Zelle me, you can, but if you don't feel comfortable, you can pay $40 cash at the door. So
Yeah. Miss Debbie asked if anybody's going to training camp. I also wanted to say, Miss Debbie, I hope you're feeling better. You've been in my thoughts and prayers. I hope you continue to be on the mend. Are you going to training camp, Miss Deb? I wish I was there close enough because I would love to go. Unfortunately, I don't get to. Maybe one day I'll be like a, member of the press and I can get in there, but
that'd be awesome. But yeah. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys are interested, I know it's already going to be an expensive trip with the flight. Talk to some people that are saying, "Well, I'm glad you're throwing this event because I already had bought my tickets. I want to go, but the whole the game tickets are just way too much because the hotel rooms are kind of expensive too." So yeah, if you guys want to have a different option, just let me know. And then, like I said, I'll put your name down, and it's only $40. I mean, that's pretty good for all you can eat appetizers for a few hours and to watch the game. So
yeah, and obviously I can't extend the offer to everybody on Twitter, but there are hotel rooms, that I could try to get a discount as well. So if somebody's coming and you need help or whatever, please reach out and I'll see what I can do to get you a cheaper room. It's kind of hard, obviously, with it being New Year's and all the rooms being booked up, and that's for any time. If you guys are coming and you need a place to stay or whatever, I have family, my wife works in the casinos, whatever, and we can get discounts on rooms. So please reach out. And then also I wanted to mention too, we do have the fantasy league going, the Faithfully Fantasy League. It is $20 to get in. We are giving away a spot for free as well once it fills up. I already started the wheel, so as we keep filling up, I'll add your name to the wheel, and once it fills, I'll do a random spin wheel. Whoever it lands on, we will pay your entry fee into the fantasy league. Winner take all. We will also be giving away random prizes throughout the football league for that as well. So yeah, if you want to sign up and you haven't yet, please reach out to me so we can get it filled. Once it gets filled, then we'll set it up to do the draft.
Sounds good.
I think that's everything.
Cool.
That we have for you guys.
I appreciate
I'm thinking they released the calendar today of when training camp and the preseason games and stuff will be. So it looks like our last preseason game will be August 25th. So I'm thinking we can either do the anniversary party show, whatever, maybe that Thursday during the preseason game. If not, then maybe that Friday after. We'll see, what works out better for everybody. But maybe one of those 2 days, the 25th or 26th of August.
Yeah, sounds good.
Looking towards that. So yeah, and then during that, we'll be dropping the merchandise line and all that fun stuff that we have coming for you guys for the second season of the Faithfully show. So we thank you guys for being here, for hanging out with us, for making it a fun year. I can't believe it's already been a year. It's crazy.
I can't believe it either.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, fam. I love you guys.
I appreciate that. Everybody, please stay safe. I want you guys all back here safe in one piece during whenever the next show is. See you guys soon. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Good night, fam.